You're not lazy. You just lack self-trust. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Deborah Chosen, and over here on this platform, we're all about having the conversations that help us journey well. And today we're going to be talking about what may be getting in the way of you being consistent. So if consistency is something that you're struggling with and you've tried all the different things, then you've come to the right place, because in this video, I'm going to be sharing a side of the conversation which I really feel is kind of missed from a lot of the content around building consistency here online. But just before that, make sure you do hit subscribe and hit like on this video to let other people know, like, we are leveling up in 2025. So let's go. So all of my points in this video can be underpinned by this truth. And that is that oftentimes the consistency that you are looking for requires you to rebuild self-trust. So I know for myself, and I've shared more about my journey in my life update video, but I know for myself, when I hit 2020, I'm almost sick and my life was just going through so many different traumatic changes, I really found myself in a survival mode. Now, why is this important? This is important because in that survival mode, the things that were easy for me to do consistently once upon a time, whether that be posting on social media, showing up for my friendships, and especially my podcast, whatever it may be, a lot of those things became difficult for me to maintain because I was just trying to survive in the day to day. Now, fast forward to 2023, and my situation has changed a lot. Things have improved, but I'm finding that consistency muscle is very, very weak now. So I recognize that a disconnect that there was is that I didn't actually trust myself to show up consistently in different areas because I hadn't proven that to myself in the last few years that I was living in that survival mode. Now, for some of you, you may not even realize that you've been living in a type of survival mode. And for others, it might just be one thing that knocked you off course, right? Has stopped you from having the momentum that you once had. But again, you are not lazy, you lack self-trust. When I recognized the disconnect and I began to address the core issue, rebuilding my self-trust, that is when I saw the drastic change in my ability to show up consistently in different areas of my life. And so I'm going to share with you a few ways that you can do the same. The first thing, and this is key, is to start small. When you're someone who has lost the momentum in the things that you were once doing, it's very tempting to just go full throttle, like full force. I'm going to do all the things, be all the things, show up across all of the things. Now, the recipe for disaster within this is that you have to slowly show yourself what you're capable of doing. If you are someone who has fallen out of trust with yourself, maybe you don't trust yourself to keep to your word, maybe you don't trust yourself to show up on time to things, whatever it may be, you have to show yourself in small increments that you are capable. Now, why do we do it in small increments? Number one, this is more sustainable for you to begin. Number two, this is going to mean that you are able to recognize your wins and track your progress sooner, which of course helps you to rebuild your confidence in yourself. And number three is to avoid overwhelm. I don't know how many years I've told myself that I'm going to show up across different platforms or in different ways, but there was no phased approach. There was no, we're going to take it slow. It was kind of all or nothing. This is not a sustainable way to grow. And so start small. Now, the second thing I've found will make a really big difference as to how long you stick with a thing and also how well you show up to it. And that is to be deeply connected to your why. Have you ever tried to do something? You're trying to do it, you're trying to show up in it, and then you come to the realization that I don't even want this thing. Like, it no longer fits me, it no longer serves me, it's beyond my capacity, and it doesn't even speak to my why. I can't tell you why I'm doing it. If you don't know why you're doing a thing, then I'm going to take a guess that you're going to be more likely to give up when the going gets hard. So deeply connecting to your why means taking out the time, doing the unsexy work of asking yourself hard questions. It may be that in this process you realize that that thing that's on your goals or that's on your daily to-do list actually simply no longer serves you, and it's something that you've outgrown. Now, the great thing about this is you can remove the clutter and you can create room for things that actually align with who you are today. Take growing a YouTube channel, for example. When you are deeply connected to your why, even when the following ain't increasing as quickly as you may like, even when the views are not viewing as you may desire, your anchor through that is going to be your why. Your why is the variable that you can control. whilst there are different things that you can do to work in your favor, ultimately you cannot control how many people sign up to your page. You cannot control the viewership, right? And so when all of those things change, when the algorithm changes, when the views change, your why remains the same, and that is what will carry you and help you to show up more consistently. The next thing is to get accountable. So I'm one of those people that every time I used to hear accountability, I don't know, maybe it's the Christian background I come from, I would kind of always hear it in the context of like, accountability is needed so that I don't sin. Don't get me wrong. It is, right? There is a place for that. But actually in the last year, throughout 2024, I was able to really see in my own life firsthand the power of having accountability as it pertains to my goals. I don't know what it is, but we as people, sometimes we are more inclined to keep our word with others than we are with ourselves. If you are someone who is rebuilding your self-trust, you might not yet fully trust yourself to do the thing that you said you were going to do. However, when you have a witness involved, when you have an accountability partner, someone who can remember that thing, recall it, and check up on you around it, it's like introducing a third party to the inner workings of your mind. By yourself, you may have a tendency to get in your head. You may have a tendency to talk yourself out of things when they get hard. But when you share that thing with someone who is trusted, someone who believes in you, someone who aligns with your values, you better believe they're going to help you help yourself. Accountability doesn't have to look like anything fancy. It also doesn't have to cost anything monetary. Now, will it cost you your time? Yes. Will it cost you your dedication? Absolutely. But the return on investment that you will get is second to none. For me in my life, one of the accountability streams that I built in 2024 was with a close friend of mine, and we would meet every single Monday morning at 10 a.m. for half an hour to 45 minutes, where we would basically talk through our weekly goals, what we hope to achieve, challenges we faced from the previous week, and also wins. And anything else that felt relevant at the time. At the end of last year, we kind of reviewed the whole year together and our accountability sessions, and my mind was blown at the impact that creating this avenue of accountability had in both of our lives. And so once again, if you are someone who is working on rebuilding your self-trust, remember to start small. Ensure that you are deeply connected to your why, and finally get accountable. There's just a few ideas from me. I would love to hear from you guys. So comment below one thing that you're going to do or you are working through in 2025 to rebuild your consistency. As I said before, I create content all around helping you journey well. So if that's something that you would like to see more of in 2025, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Until next time, cheers to making 2025 your most consistent year yet. Let's go.